It's all you. We're doing the learning lab today. So we're talking about the topics for this week. So did you get the topics that I sent
I
you?
did get the topic. So why your lead magnet isn't pulling its weight? Valerie, welcome. How good to see you again. You're muted, my dear.
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm late. I was securing another presentation date at the library.
Very good. So let's talk about it. Tell me, yeah, we'll start with you, Robert. You've been in here and warmed up a bit. Tell me on that topic why your lead magnet isn't pulling its weight. What do you think? If someone has a lead magnet and it's not pulling its weight, what's the issue? What could be the issue?
There's a lot of issues that it could be. Obviously, any and every action that we do gives us a response. So if you're not getting the response, you've got to refine what you're doing. And that's what I've just done. And my magnet is pulling its weight and will pull its weight, but it didn't happen overnight. Again, it's watching the results as it relates to what you do and figuring out what you need to do to change so that you get the results you're looking for.
So what do you feel like are the foundational steps or the foundation of your lead magnet needs to be?
What are the foundations? You're selling, my lead magnet is selling why they want to do a one-on-one with me. And I like irresistible offers. So I'm offering them a free gift. I'm not going to pitch them. It goes into the lead magnet. It's a 1-minute video that was created on Pictory. But the foundation to me is understanding what your system and strategy is. My system, and I love acronyms, is your system is shape your strategies to execute and multiply. You got to look at your objective and refine what you're doing to make sure you get the results you're looking for.
Okay. And you said that your lead magnet is a one-on-one call then. So why they want to be on a
Yes.
one call with you?
Yeah. I'm offering them a free $100 gift, and I can put my lead magnet in the chat. And ultimately, key in everything, and I like 3 C's. Everybody's confused for a variety of different reasons. All you have to do is look at the headlines without getting political. The Epstein, are we on verge of World War III? Whatever that is. There's a lot of confusion in the marketplace with AI. The second C is challenge. Most people have got challenges, and my third C is certainty. And so I know that I can help people. And the point is, to me, the magic happens when you do it one-on-one. When you take the time to really get to know who you're speaking with and then figure out, again, how you can be of service so that you can develop that long-term relationship.
Okay. Val, do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm just taking that in and I'm thinking that is making sense, especially the fact that Rome wasn't built in a day. And all of this is a process that takes time and persistence and action. And yeah,
It is. And I think it's interesting because a few years ago, everybody was like, oh, just create a lead magnet. Just your lead magnet can be a checklist. If people want to go fill out your checklist, then you can capture their lead. And they want it to be something really valuable. I don't feel I've seen checklists that I wanted, yes, but I don't feel like a checklist alone holds a lot of value. I think it needs to be tied to something that's going to bring them into your world, not just a standalone item like that. And that's clearly just my opinion. But I think that this is a good conversation to have before you have too many lead magnets, because you can easily get in that situation where you have a checklist for one, or maybe you have a little booklet that tells these things, or maybe you have 5 steps to a better morning, whatever it might be. But I think ultimately we all understand that we are a brand and we want to bring people into our business. And so it has to be, number one, an introduction to you. And then, I would say my C's would be your character. You got to bring them into your character. And then you want to have clarity on how you can, and it needs to be concise. So we can even say concise clarity. It needs to be very specific clarity on how you can provide a solution that they are looking for. And then obviously getting in the call, I feel like that's the place to go, is to get in that call, right? So that you can be there to solve the problem, and then not just getting in the call, but what are you delivering in that call? I
Yeah.
feel like that's where the main value needs to be, is what you're delivering in that call that you're on there with them, because you've already got them past that threshold where they've said, okay, yes, this is what I know about her. This is not what I know about her solution. Clearly, it's cultivated to my problem. And so they go right into that, but then they're in there. So you need to, once you're in that call, I feel like in my call, it looks like I need to show them the clear path to the ultimate outcome that they want. I need to outline that for them. And then I need to, and in doing so, I need to tell them what they need and why they need it, but not necessarily how. I want to take just a small part of how and show them a little bit of how to get that, right? Whether so for instance, I'm in GHL, and so it may be that I say to them, okay, I can solve that for you really quickly. Let me create a loom for you. Create a loom for them, send it over to them, tell them to save it in their favorites bar. Now they've got a sample of my work right there. They can go back and reuse over and over. And they know that in that short call, they got that value. And so there must be so much more to that. What are your thoughts on that, Robert?
100% agree. Let me expand a little bit because you throw a bunch of C's. And if you look at really what is everybody looking for, they want visibility so that gives them credibility so they can connect. But the biggest mistake that people make, and then I'll refer back to what, is they're forgetting about the other C, collaborative and choices. So when I'm doing my one-on-one and I've got a whole toolbox of things that I can give to that person based on where they're at. Because again, it's going back to how are you continually feeding them information that's going to help them. So I start with my 3Ds that I learned from my business partner. I want to discover what's going on in their world. So normally when I do a one-on-one, I'm going to ask 2 questions. Tell me what you do and what you're doing. And that's the key part, what you're doing to attract more of the right people that will allow you to create the results you're looking for. So then based on whatever they say, because I've got a toolbox. And again, I believe you probably watched The Secret or read the book, The Secret. It talks about how you can attract whatever it is that you want to attract. What it didn't do, it didn't give you the action steps necessary that would allow you to do it. And that's really what we're talking about today. What are the real action steps today? Because things have really transformed since I started as an entrepreneur in 1984, even though I've been very successful. And it's understanding what works today, not what worked in the past. The foundation of what worked in the past will work, but we're in a different world.
We are in a different world. And I love how you said that, because when I'm in my discovery call or clarity call or however you want to say that, and I love that it's called both, I always have a toolbox. And what I learned that's different than when I started on here a few years back. A few years back, I had multiple lead magnets, right? All these different lead magnets. And while they're all valuable, they weren't leading them directly into me to a one-on-one. And so when I narrow that down and have one that leads them into a call with me, as I get to learn more about their problem, about things in their world, I have a toolbox of solutions. And that's where I was using the example of, because one of the things that I do, Robert, is I take Go High Level and I simplify it and I create the back end for my clients so that they can just check in and see if they have any emails or DMs they need to respond to and see if they have any meetings on the calendar for the day. The rest of it's all connected and done for them in a simple way. And then I teach them to clone it, edit it, and repeat the process. But I teach them in a very simple way. And so part of my service is providing a Loom library, which are just short videos of me creating things and doing different tasks. And I give those to them and have them save them on their favorites bar so they can always go back and read and use it as many times as they need to until it becomes habit and they know what they're doing. So during my call, when I'm finding out, discovering what aspect they need help in, these are one of the things, the looms are one of the things in my toolbox. I also, of course, have different speaking engagements and podcasts and things like that they can get on. I also have so many connections. I love connecting people. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, let me give you a third call instead of a discovery call or whatever the one you said. What I call is my results acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
Because really that's what we're selling as results. And so I put part of my lead magnet that I've refined to, but again, it's results acceleration. I want to help them And I will be able to do that as start with my first state discovery. What do you do? What are you doing to advance what you do? And I've got a whole list of networking events. I got a whole different things based on what I am able to determine from listening and asking the right questions.
I love that. Valerie, do you have anything to add?
This time I'm just really taking it in. I love that, Robert. I love your results acceleration. That just sounds very positive, very energetic, very happy. Acceleration, let's speed it up.
Yeah. The key is giving them a map. And my acronym for map is your momentum action plan.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, and you can bet I'm writing it down.
Valerie, tell us about your lead magnet, if you want.
I'm one of the late show people, and I didn't get a lead magnet until early. It was through holiday, and it's been within the last 6 months.
Good. And so do you feel like it delivers the what and why?
It delivers the what and the why. It's my website, and it tells who I am and what I do and why and how. Yes.
So the thing that I think the lead magnet needs to lean into telling them why they need you
Yeah.
and what they need, the solution is. And then when you meet with them in your one-on-ones, that's where you dive into just a little bit of value that is here's one step you can start. So just a little bit of the how. So you're delivering the value. And it needs to be something that's not common knowledge, really, so that it holds value, especially in your realm of finance.
Finance and insurance. Yes.
And then, yes. And then when I always forget the insurance part, sorry. And then when you get with them, when they become more interested and come back to you again, now that you've built some trust by delivering value, that's where you can step up your game and be more product or service centered. This is what I have, right? And sharing those.
Can I get that acronym again, Robert?
Momentum Action Plan.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Robert should drop that in the chat for us.
I'll let you with that. I just speak. So otherwise, I've got people that do everything else for me. Everything. In fact, when I started, a quick story, I dove in as entrepreneurship in 1984. I was ignorance on fire. And I never looked at the numbers. And when I originally started, I created $102,000 in debt. The only reason I know is at the time I was dating a lady. And so I ended up marrying her. She handles my books ever since then. I focus on the people relationships.
That's good. That's interesting, Robert, because when I built my businesses, I have a business theory that doesn't sit with everybody, but really something that I've always done. And there's no excuse not to do it. But I've built 9 businesses now from concept to profit. But we always make sure that we have enough money to initiate the business, start the business, and carry us through the first year. And I do not look at the books until about a week before the anniversary of the 1 year. And so what that's done for me, and I know this is different, and we don't go in debt to do it, we save our money to do it. And so let's say that when I opened Chicken Lips Boutique, I took $250,000 and bought the building, renovated the building, stocked the building, had enough money in my bank account to pay my employees for full time and any incidentals. And then it was like, I think 15 or 20% above what I thought that cost would be, just as a bounce room, right? Or you never know what's going to happen kind of thing, which is really a good thing because that very first, let's say we opened February 14th, April 1st, we had a 100-year flood and we had to raise the floor in our building that we had just renovated. And we had to add custom rain gutters to catch the neighbor's rain so it wouldn't come through our foundation. Anyways, so it's a good thing we had that in there. But what that does and having that financially set up that way is that number one, you're not going further in debt. Number two, it gives you the freedom to actually focus on just building the businesses. You're not worried about, I have to make this sale. I have to make 5 sales by Friday or I'm going under or I'm going in debt. None of that crosses your mind. And every single time that I've done that, I've taken that freedom to build relationships and really just exemplify it. It showed up as my very best self, totally focused on relationships, and I've never not been able to carry on. And so I know a lot of people are like, I hear people all the time say, I'm going to quit my job and start this hustle. And I'm like, stop. Don't ever stop what's feeding you. Create another train, a food train over here.
I like how you do it. How's it going, Steven? I hope I didn't make you guys dizzy walking around with my phone trying to get something in the other side of the house. But as in, or you could be like me and learn a lesson where you're just like out of a 20-year career and boom, you're trying to catch up.
Well,
You
that
always
was
feel like you're catching up.
right. You didn't plan that.
No, but whether I planned it or just left my job in a decision, that's okay. Because it's totally opposite. Here we are working together to see, oh, okay, we have the same concept and get the concept, but now learning to do the function. So taking the action. So it's
Right.
always good for me. I think that's what this is great about is that we're constantly pivoting on what can we do. And when you look at first, you're like, what do you mean in lead magnet? What do I have to do that for? Because now I'm in business for myself. I'm my own boss of me. I don't need a lead magnet, like you were saying. But knowing the importance of having something evergreen that people can look at and go, oh, okay, that's a good 3 key takeaways.
So I love, Nicole, that you brought up the Evergreen, because here's the thing, and I've run into this over and over. So when I did my podcast for the first year, I had guest speakers on, and I asked everybody to bring an Evergreen lead magnet. And some people didn't know what that meant. But what I said is that I'm going to share this everywhere. Like, it's going in my memberships, it's going on my YouTube, it's going in my Facebook groups, it's going everywhere, and it's going to stay there. And I want to link to something valuable you're putting out there. So when they watch the replay and they want to connect with you, they've got that first step right there handy. And so many people change theirs. I have people come to me all the
I've never
time.
heard of evergreen except for trees. So explain, please.
It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Your evergreen tree is always green.
I
It's
see.
always there. It's always live active. You're in the money business. It's always bringing in money. So you want to make sure that your lead magnet is evergreen. It's always there. It's always live. It's always active. It doesn't go dormant in the winter. It doesn't change for something else. The leaves don't fall off and it goes away. It is evergreen. And
Gotcha.
so,
Thank you.
yeah, and that's super important, because I have people come back all the time and they're like, I love that, but I can't reach them. Their lead magnet doesn't work. How do I find this person? And maybe it's because their name is under their business or something like that, but still they need to be able to always connect back to you. Nicole, what is your lead magnet? Is yours also a call?
So I have a few different lead magnets. It depends on which summit I'm speaking on, right? If I'm in virtual reality, I'm going to have a little bit of a different lead magnet than I am. So I'm at a summit next week and it's called Get Shit Done Summit for 2026. So I'm sharing my GSD Get Shit Done journal, right? So it goes with that. I have a journal I already created. I don't have to recreate it. It's evergreen. A year ago, I had to change my website and stuff. There's a few changes you can make if you haven't put it out there in a while. You could update those links, but I use it in ThriveCart so people can sign up and I can add them to a workflow. But I can change them around. I have one that's just virtual summit mastery, right? Just simple tips and tricks of what you need for a virtual summit, which is like here, which is turn on your camera, turn on your mic, and talk. There you go. Boom. Simple stuff like that. And everybody's, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. And without the overwhelm, where do you start? So when I was overwhelmed, I'm like, oh, is it really this simple? Get a Zoom account, get camera, and talk. And that's it.
I love that. Stephen, do you care to share what your lead magnet is with us? There
Mute.
you go.
Yes, I go off. So my lead magnet, I use a book preview. What I'm trying to build towards is build a mailing list to sell more books and build on that to other speaking and other opportunities that go with that. So
Stephen, do you know about Notebook LM?
oh yes.
Okay. Because
I love that, Stephen. I feel like that. And I know that I'm a little bit of a nerd. Like, I have more books than anybody know except my oldest daughter. She may be right there hand in hand with me, but I also have, I have the real life one. She has lots of audiobooks too, but we have so many books. I love that because I think that's an amazing lead magnet. If you pick your very good tantalizing part and put in there that it really draws people in, then clearly they're going to go get your book.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I love that. What books have you written?
So I got 4 nonfiction books. Probably the simplest one is on market research statistics. So it's a guide for small business owners that aren't particularly familiar with the math behind the sort of statistics you need to understand your market opportunity. The others are a bit more technical. The one on blockchain, smart contracts, and the law. One on technology ethics. And my most recent one is a cybersecurity book on data governance and securing your data supply chain for enterprises, worrying about security threats like deepfakes, data poisoning, data suppression.
I love that. That's interesting. I met a lady actually doing my podcast, and she has written like 12 books on AI, and they're just so fascinating. But I absolutely love reading.
What is potato? Can you explain that, sir?
Potato, I'm
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking
Well,
about?
I thought I heard you say a term, a couple of different terms, potato this and potato that. What was it?
I'm not sure what you heard.
I don't. I,
Okay.
Just
So
understood.
the first book is on market research statistics. The second one is blockchains, smart contracts, and the law. The third one is a technology ethics book. The most recent one is called Securing Your Data Supply Chain. And it's concerned with some security threats that enterprises and individuals are not really paying a lot of attention to. And those 3 threats are deep fakes, data suppression, and data poisoning. So deep fakes,
Oh, data. I thought I heard your diction to be potato, but it was data. Oh, lost in translation. Okay. Thank you,
okay,
sir.
no problem.
very good. So, is everybody? Let's start with you, Robert. How long have you been using the lead magnet you have now?
Oh, the strategy I've been using for a long time, but the actual lead magnet, I've been using it for a month.
Month. Okay. Nicole, you've been using yours for a long time, huh?
Yeah, I've been using mine for a few years and it's just simple and it says the same thing that I talk about all the time. But again, there's lead magnets that we use, like we use the school platform. That's pretty much how you guys are here. That's a great lead magnet for us to connect and get to know people. It's huge. It's better than Facebook because you guys come in to the school platform and you can come on the free account and you can talk to each other. You can introduce yourself. We had posting parties and maybe a networking someday, and we have learning lab, but it's a way to get to know each other. So I think it's a live lead magnet, and we don't look at those as lead magnets, but it's a technology era and it's a great way for engagement. So it's been huge. We've got what, 120 something now?
Almost 130. And I love that you said simple because I feel like so many times, and maybe more so
Is
when
it me or your microphone? Does anybody hear you off a little bit? Talk again. Sorry.
I said, I love that you said the word simple. Is it you or me?
I don't know. Valerie, say something real quick.
Valerie, are you
So-
hearing me okay?
Something real quick.
Oh, nope, that's me. Sorry, guys. It's me.
Okay. I love that you said it's something simple because when I first came online, it was like, oh, make this great big glamorous, all this artwork on front of the cover, lead magnet. And really, that's not where the value is. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay. I want to comment on something that Nicole's talked about. I love school, and that's really a strategy of how you're putting the message, but that's where the lead magnet comes in. For example, what I do in school is if I'm speaking somewhere, or going to be speaking somewhere, I put something out in a post, even in networking groups. When you go to networking groups, nobody goes to networking groups to be pitched to. What you're really pitching is why they want them one-on-one with you. And that's really your lead strategy. So being on school, being at networking groups, even when you're speaking in front of people, your strategy is where you want to take them, how you want to take them to make that next step so that you can take them through whatever process that you've got set up. so that you can convert them either to a collaborative or a client or a customer collaborative or client. Customers a one-time buy, clients a repeat buy. Collaboration or collaborative relationship is somebody that you're working hand in hand with. Like the two of you, Colleen and Nicole, have got a collaboration going.
And so I think that the key is to keep it simple, keep it super simple so people can come in. That's definitely
Yeah.
key. And I think that in all the things that I've studied and learned, it's that needs to be like on a fourth grade level, that simple and direct. Don't leave them going, okay, now what? Or what do I do? Or that's
I
great
call it-
information, but what am I supposed to touch or do? Or your button should say, grab it here, things like that. Book your call here, book your call now, book your call next, whatever that looks like, so that it's very direct, right? And I love the live lead magnets. And I think that even inside network meeting, that it gives you an insight into, hey, do I want to be on a stage that Stephen's speaking on? Do I want to be on a stage that Robert's speaking on? Do I want to be on a stage Valerie's on? Where do I want to put my energy? But just knowing and understanding their business, how they speak, how they enunciate, how they present themselves, both in a professional setting and then just in networking, which I consider still professional. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I agree. I agree. I'm a former elementary teacher, and you've got to be able to have every person in the room be able to understand you, no matter what age they are. I break it down. I take the jargon out, and I call it my peanut butter and jelly language.
I love that. That's interesting because I homeschooled all my kids, and in homeschooling, it's the exact opposite theory that we use. So we always teach to the oldest, and everybody else falls in line, right? So when I have a pre-kindergartner or or even an elementary school, I had a high schooler, and so I taught to the high schooler. I had some simpler activities available on the same topic for the younger kids, but they pick up really quick and they fall in line. But it's exact opposite of what you're saying, Valerie. And I think in the online world, you're right. We need to just keep it simple, peanut butter jelly language, really. And then I like the opportunity of hearing people speak and seeing, number one, how I can help them. That's always first and foremost. But two, do I want to do more than refer people to them? Do I want to rub shoulders with them? Do I want to sit at the same table with them? That kind of thing. And that is important, especially if we're going to network meetings, maybe you're not making the connections you want, but you may make those kind of connections.
Yeah.
Stephen, you look like you have something you want to say, or you're just thinking deeply.
Put in the chat the link to my lead magnet, just as an example. Put the question around networking meetings and how to connect it to books. I think my biggest problem is how to get the word out and get attention to the books. At the moment, I primarily use LinkedIn rather than something like School, just because of the target audience that I have, which is primarily business folks.
And so maybe speaking at business summits and business events, sharing your knowledge. Maybe you take the part that you share as a lead magnet. Maybe you make your presentation off of that. So people want to know more, they go grab your book. But those, if it's the right platform and it's aligned, which is key, and Nicole is great at making sure her audiences and her speakers are aligned, then I think that could be a great way for you to get out there and get seen and heard. Have you tried that?
That's what I'm in the midst of at the moment, is trying to find podcasts and other speaking opportunities that don't break the bank, to build almost like a repertoire of a history of speaking events to build up, because it's not something you can just launch into without some history.
Dr. Stephen Wright, you may have a speaking opportunity at my networking events on Thursdays,
Sure.
and it won't break the bank.
Sure.
And you'll be in great company.
Let's trade some details offline.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, utilize the chat. Go ahead and do that. Nicole, do you have any thoughts on how he can get out there a little bit more with promoting his books?
So if you want to promote your books, we definitely have that brew and stew package and then run summits. There is a pay to play portion of it because the proceeds do go to confronting domestic violence. But however, if you're looking for a no cost, it's not very expensive to do that. We can always talk about it. But if you're looking for more of a no cost adventure, you can always go to, like Valerie has, or Lunch with Lynn if you want to promote yourself and connect. Those are good connections, good places to register. Those are free places to get to know everybody. The trick is if you're just getting on podcast or something to get on podcast, a lot of those no pay podcasts don't support you. They don't even advertise, they don't share their own stuff. They forget about you. They don't promote it to even their social media platforms or any groups. So nobody really sees it. There's no email that goes out. Nobody sees the promotion. The good thing is that you can always go to something like an Event Raptor and sign up. Let me give you that. Are you on Event Raptor at all? Are you familiar with it?
Someone about
Yeah. So there's places definitely to promote that there. The thing is that I go to support, I get on stages because I like to speak and it helps keep you fresh and alive. But the other thing is I was at an event and they had 4 people at the event. They had 4 people off camera. The host wasn't even on camera. The host wasn't even replying to people speaking live. Sometimes you get what you pay for. So it just depends on your situation and it's all different and I understand that. But there's Lunch with Lynn, Valerie's. Valerie just offered you a speaking spot and she's got good people in her community as well. So there's other things and stay on the school platform. There's some other events that may be coming up that we can share so people can get on the stage. But we want to make sure that looking at those events, who's going to host those events so they're quality places for people to be.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think
that's
even with Lunch with Lynn, which is actually zoomwithlynn.com and with no WW in front of it. She is phenomenal. Her networking is 2 hours from 12 to 2 on Thursdays, 12 to 2 Central Standard Time. And it is also broadcast on the radio. And so it's a great opportunity to get seen and heard. And if you reach out to Lynn, she does have 5-minute speaking engagements so that you can present to her audience and on the radio for 5 minutes. And then she does a few of those every week. Maybe, what do you think? 3 or 4, 2 or 3 ladies, you go to this with
she
me.
normally does the 5 minutes are normally 2 people. That she does 5 minutes. Everybody else gets about a minute to 2 minutes, depending on how many people, of course, are in the room. However, if you come in early, she goes by first come, first serve. If she's not met you, she wants to share more about you. And so she gives you much more time. And if it's first come, first service, the speaker doesn't show up, she just might hand that spot to you. So she does take note of that. She's usually on 5 or 10 minutes before and getting people. She loves to take notes and share who's there, who's participating. And if she doesn't get to you with afterwards, after the meeting, make some extra time because she'll want to get to know you and see where she can refer you and who she could share you with.
And she's an amazing referral partner for everybody that I know that's come in contact with her, not just some people. Nicole, Valerie, and I all have very different businesses, and she's been very helpful in all of our businesses. So that is something that you should maybe think about looking into. Robert, I saw your hand was up for a minute. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, definitely. A couple aspects of what could help you book. First of all, I believe networking is the bridge to creating the kind of impact you aspire to. I'm going to put in the chat. Ultimately, a podcast that I was on about networking with the guy that runs Jeb Networking. So the other part about on podcast, and I'm going to give you my suggestion. If you get the copy of the podcast, whoever put you on the podcast, and let them know that you're going to be able to bring your podcast to your list. So be it if it's your list or if it's post that podcast in school communities. Again, everything that you do, you want to get clarity on your intention up front. Look at it when you're on a podcast, look at it as a promotional tool for yourself so that you're bringing more people into your list. That I posted in school, I posted in LinkedIn, one way or the other. Does it 1 or 2 people disconnect? Sure. I've got 30,000 people on LinkedIn. It's not a big deal. The point is, if you understand the game, and the game is obviously, why do you want to speak on somebody else's stage? It's either a paid to play or there's an expectation. Their expectation from you is you've got to bring enough people, because why do you want to speak? You want to tap into their network. It's a reciprocal. Always think reciprocity in everything that you do, and focus on what you can do to be of value to the. And by the way, Val, yes, I'd be happy to talk. Just book a time on my calendar and we can figure out that. I start off with a one-on-one up front, but I'm happy to be of value.
Okay, thank you. I like the word reciprocity that you use. Boy, that's spot on too.
All right, Val, you had something, a question?
This week, just since I signed up for your thing that you're offering to us, Nicole and Colleen, it's the first time I ever heard the word school spelled that way and what it even is. So, is that for anybody or is that for people that are signed up with your event?
It's for anybody.
Yeah.
School's a platform like Facebook. It's for anybody. You could sign up and you can create your own school group. You can sign up and create a page. You can have a membership. You can do all kinds of things with school. It's just another social media. It's very advantageous. So you saw how easy it is to connect. I saw you on there, Valerie, and it's pretty fairly. It's user friendly. It's just very simple to follow along, and it will just work with you instead of against you. You don't have to learn a bunch of new things. It's not like Facebook where it's going to update every week and give you a cool tool and then take it away tomorrow. That's exactly why Alex Hermosi had invested in it, is the simplicity of the use and how great it is to connect with your people. So yeah, you can go ahead on school and create your own group.
Yeah. And
And let me,
Well, I wonder where I've been because this is the first time I've ever heard of it. And it's not like I'm a hermit in the hills.
yeah,
Well,
let,
and I
let
will
me,
say to Valerie that one of the things that makes school so easy to use is that so many people are on it. And so
Yeah.
I'm a part of probably 9 groups on there. And whether I frequent them all the time or not, they're easy to find. They're all right there. It's not like going to Facebook trying to find your group. It's totally not like that. And I have my own membership group inside Go High Level. And I have that there for my clients, easy access for them for that. And I may at some point open that up to the world, but it would be through a school platform that they can access the membership into that. Just because some people need the Loom videos and the value that's in there. And maybe they already have Go High Level through a company they work for or something like that, but they do want access to those videos. I just haven't made it public yet. I also have my power partners in there and other things, but I think the school community is like the ground zero. Nicole, would you agree with that? I think it's going to be ground zero for remember when Instagram went down?
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember when.
it's not political. It's business and it's
Yeah.
community. So that's one of the great things is the majority of the purpose of the school platform is business relationship building. So that know, like, trust, know, whatever you want to call it today, whatever it is, it's for you to have the ease of use of your community and your group. It's to get back to the engagement. And that has been taken away over these last 6 years now on the social media platforms. So getting it back, it's not got bought out by anybody big, but there are some big players that have invested in it. And that's what it's for. It's really for relationship building so you can connect to your people. And it's easier to use than Patreon. So it's taken away from the old Patreon account. You can use school. It's a lot easier. Patreon's kind of difficult. There's issues signing up. People have issues with memberships. And so they didn't grow at the rate that people started to use it and they forgot to make it easy. And that's what it's all about today. Technology is finally caught up. Go ahead. Oh,
Yeah.
Robert.
Let me jump in and say something because I'm still a novice at school and but like, for example, I came across one wherever I came across. And one of the key things in school, like, for example, in this community, they've got a place where you can copy and send their link. And let's say you are going to be speaking in this platform. Let's say because in school, they've got a calendar. And so what I started doing, one of the ones I came across, they've got 3 networking events a month, ACEs. I started copying that and just sending it to people with a little blurb. But I would suggest you copy and paste, be it if it's Colleen's or Nicole's one, so that because they've got leaderboards. And so you can see who's really doing things. Again, it's wherever you show up, think about your intention and strategy in relationship to what you're looking to accomplish. You're looking to develop better quality relationships with the rainmakers, people that are out there doing things. Anyhow, that just gives you another way of how you can utilize school. I see it as a extremely fast growing, valuable platform that for people that engage in it. It's like a year, 6 months ago, AI was just coming in its mainstream. Now everybody's talking about AI. So school, you want to be in the forefront of school. Anyhow, that's all I've got to say.
Is it for individuals or is it you go in and you establish your account as a group or both?
But
No, I
individual,
joined as an individual first.
yeah. Yes,
Okay.
I did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Thank
don't
you.
even have an account. I don't have an account. It's as low as $9 a month. If I'm not mistaken, if you want your own account and create your own community.
Yeah, I didn't create an account until just barely, and I want to say mine's $99 a month.
I'm sure they got platforms. I don't know about any of that because I don't have one of those accounts at this point.
Okay. Thank you very much, Robert.
So does anybody have anything else on the topic of lead magnets? I can do this. This is my third meeting in a row, in case you didn't know that.
I forgot to put something too. For you gentlemen, Stephen and Robert, I would say give me a call on the phone to reserve your spot to speak because I will need to go in and look at my calendar and see if I already have somebody arranged. And then I have to look out at the next week or 2 or 3.
Yeah, Valerie, you should just book them. My calendars in the chat because that way, as I know more of your audience, I can tailor it. I'm happy, and how much time you want, one way or the other. I book.
Okay, I'm actually looking for that.
I'm happy to call you.
Oh,
We can.
is it this fa.tips/Butwin TV?
No, it's just calendly.com/Butwin, my last name, Butwin.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And then we can figure out because I've been speaking, I've spoken on stage with many of the iconic speakers, and I don't know, up until just the beginning of this year, I had what they had called droopy eyes. And I had my eyelids changed at the end of last year, but I didn't mind. It didn't bother me in networking, but I didn't want to be speaking unless I could be looking at the audience with my eyes open. Self-talk, all that self-talk.
Oh, I have wanted to do that too. Did insurance pay for that?
Yes.
Really?
As long as as long as the doctor, I went to the doctor and they said because my eyes were pretty bad. It was like,
And it looks like it worked on both of your eyes. My mom did that
They
surgery.
did.
It worked on one of hers.
yeah, they did work on both of my eyes.
So mom did them on both her eyes, but it only worked on one. I don't know
I
why,
don't know.
what that is. But anyways, so back to our topic. So we narrowed down that we need to not over deliver. We want to deliver what you need and why you need it and get them, and it needs to be magnetic to get them into the call so that we can deliver the value of a little bit of how, but not all of how. Impressive isn't effective necessarily. You could have 10 people grab your lead magnet, but if nobody is getting in that call with you, then it doesn't matter, right? They could go visit your page, click your link, all your things, but if they're not actually booking the call and getting in with you, then your lead magnet is ineffective. It should be converting, not just attracting. And so that's the next step to work on with that. And then, of course, we talked about keeping it evergreen. Make sure that it's evergreen. Now, you can go in and edit things and change things without changing the link to it. That's the key thing. And so as you learn and grow as an entrepreneur, of course, you're leveling up and you may have a little bit different perception or step, or maybe the tech changed a little bit. You have a little something different, but you keep that inside. You can change that, but keep your link the same. And so that may look like maybe you change your calendar, but what you're giving out is your landing page so that they can get to your calendar. Maybe you go in and change your dates in your calendar that you're available, or maybe you change the workflow that comes after it that confirms that they booked with you, things like that. But don't change the link that gets them to your landing page to get on your calendar. Does anybody have anything they want to add before we close out?
So you can make changes to your website yourself without contacting the creator that did it?
Yes. That's why you work with me, Val, so that you can have me create your website for you. And then I have little videos that show you how to just make little changes all the time. And actually, if you decide that this month you're putting on, maybe you're doing a masterclass, Wealth with Val, That's fine. You do that and you run that for a month, and the next one's going to be Wealth with Val, from homeless to hopeful. You just clone it, and I teach you that in my looms, how to just push clone so everything stays the same, and then you just go in and edit little bits of information. So it's like the next step, right? But it saves a ton of money, because lots of times when you're getting a website, it's usually $3,000, $2,000, $5,000 to get a website. This system, you're able to very easily just clone, update, edit. So yeah, there's the same, maybe $3,000 up front to set up your website, your landing pages, your calendars, your emails, all the stuff. But then you have the ability to just show up and shine. And if you want to change something, you have the Loom videos in the membership to show you how to do that. So our next meeting is going to be tomorrow morning. We have Solutions Lab. That is at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And that is where you bring any issue you have that is business related and come share it with me. I am on, Nicole will be on too, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Nicole hosts it on Thursday, Friday in the evenings. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bring any business concerns and we will hash them out, dial in the tech, whatever we need to do to get to the bottom of that for you. And then tomorrow at 9 a.m., we have Voice Lab, which is Nicole and I going live, solving real life business solutions. So that will be fun too. And those are all in the calendar on the school group.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nicole and Colleen. You're always doing such a super job, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think Nicole is having some tech issues. So
Anyhow, goodbye for everybody. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to connecting with you later. My fridge in the chat.
thank you for joining us, Robert, Stephen,
And
and
Robert and Stephen.
Valerie.
Thank
We'll
you.
see that later. Thank you.